I will be more smarter tomorrow than I is today. And if I could go back in time, I would shower myself in knowledge. Unfortunately, time travel doesn't exist, but YouTube does. So today I'm going to stand here and talk about 5 things I wish I knew before I started my software engineering career. Whether you're just starting out in this field or you're trying to break into it, I think you'll find this advice helpful. So let's get to it. What? Are you telling me people on the internet lie sometimes? No! Yes, little Timmy, they do. They do lie sometimes. Specifically, many videos on YouTube glamorize the tech industry. They talk about how you get paid well, play video games or ping pong during work, and take naps in nap pods. And don't get me wrong, this does happen sometimes, but the vast majority of the time, just like any job, you're working. If I were to make a day in the life video, it would consist of me sitting at my desk, bouncing between meetings and coding for 8 hours, finishing my day realizing I hadn't drinking any water. It's important to remember that being a software engineer is just like any other job. It has its ups and downs, and yes, jobs in the tech industry seem to be a bit more flexible than in other industries, but at the end of the day, it is still a job. There are times where you're going to have to put in long hours to meet deadlines, you're going to have to deal with coworkers you don't like, you're going to have to sit through meetings that you have no interest in partaking in. But still, at the end of the day, I think this is one of the most rewarding careers out there. Every day I get to learn something new and I feel like I'm solving problems. But don't let the glamorized version of the tech industry on YouTube and social media make the decision for you. Do your own research and figure out if this career is right for you. Effective communication about technical subjects is crucial for any job in the software industry. Whether you're interviewing for a new job, working with teammates trying to solve a bug, effective communication is what is going to get you that job. It is going to get you to the point where you are solving problems with your team. So if you're beginning your career in tech or you want to break through, really focus on developing these communication skills. I sometimes look back and cringe at memories of me discussing technology with interviewers or friends, peers, teachers, because I thought I knew what I was talking about, and it turns out I was speaking nonsense half the time. In this industry, in this field, it is so easy to throw acronyms together and make it seem like you know what you're talking about. And good communication means breaking down these really complex technical issues into sentences that people could actually digest and understand. There was an additional WS in the DB connection string, so the GUI couldn't deserialize the JSON object that was coming from the HTTP request, so it was DOA. What? Oh, there was a white space in the connection string and everything broke. Why didn't you just say that? If I were dictator for a day, just one day, I would ban Lemonade because it's nasty, and I'd also make it illegal to compare learning a programming language with learning a real language, like Spanish, one that we speak. There is a common misconception out there that one day you will learn to code and all of a sudden you'll be able to make anything you want. Just like I have learned English and I can make any sentences I want. Like I taught a penguin to do my taxes, or I won a hot dog eating contest with a fork. Learning to code is far more comparable to learning a trade skill. But ultimately, the programming language is just a tool in our toolbox as a developer. I think far too often people try to memorize syntaxes of languages or learn the language together, when in reality what they need to be learning computing concepts, how to actually develop software applications. So my advice to people out there who feel like they're stuck at a certain level of engineering, or you're trying to break into the industry or learn to code, is to learn concepts and apply those concepts with the programming language of your choice. One thing I wish I knew earlier was that the process of learning as a software developer truly never ends. You never get to that point where you know everything and you never need to learn another thing in your life. Programming languages, technologies, frameworks, tools, everything that software developers use are constantly evolving, and they seem to be evolving faster than ever before. That doesn't mean you need to learn a new language every 2 years to stay relevant, but staying up to date is an important part of the job. But there are a lot of people out there who they don't want to learn anything new. Software engineers need to be adaptable. And yeah, this could be overwhelming at some times. But I also think it's what makes working in the industry super engaging and fun. Being a software developer does not mean you get locked in a closet and get to code for 8 hours a day. It's far from that. As a side note, I actually do really wish my job would lock me in the closet and just let me code for 8 hours a day. That sounds like heaven. My primary responsibility is not to code. It is to create value for our customer. That means I do production support when there's a bug that made it through to the end users. That means that I'll spend hours on meetings with other engineers trying to help them with their problems, or they try to help me with mine. I need to work with project managers and business analysts to understand requirements. I need to test and debug issues. I need to validate code, and I need to document all of it. Yes, coding is a huge part of my job, but as a full stack software consultant, the value I provide is not the literal words of code that I am writing in my IDE. It is the combination of those words, along with all those other things, that creates value for the client.
If you're interested in a breakdown of my computer science degree, click here.